They raised stone temples in the jungle with no metal tools, no wheels, and no animals to haul anything. Maya workers did it anyway, over and over, until whole cities were built around stone, and a lot of them didn't get a choice. This isn't a mystery. The evidence is still there. So if you've ever thought, how is this even possible? Good. Because once you see how it was built, you won't look at Maya temples the same. The Maya didn't build randomly. A city grows where life is possible. Water, food, trade routes, stone nearby. And the temple goes where it can dominate everything, not because it looks good, because it changes behavior. You put a mountain of stone in the center of a city, and you control the view, the movement, and the crowd. Then they cut paths through the jungle and raise them into white causeways, sac biob. They're not cute roads. They're control lines. They move supplies when the ground turns to mud. They move crowds when leaders want bodies in one place. And once the temple rises, the whole city becomes a stage built for power. Most Maya cities had one advantage: limestone everywhere. But limestone isn't a rock. It's the start of an industrial process, because the real miracle isn't the stone blocks, it's the lime. To get lime, you burn limestone hot enough to break it down. That means fuel. That means heat. That means people feeding fires for hours, day after day. Then lime becomes mortar. Mortar becomes plaster. And plaster becomes the difference between a pile that collapses in the rain and a temple that stands. This is why the surfaces could be sealed, smoothed, coated, even painted. The Maya didn't just stack stone, they locked it together. And now, the brutal question: how do you move that stone through jungle terrain with no wheels? This is the part modern people don't want to picture. No carts, no oxen, no horses, no metal tools. So the machine was people. Stone gets quarried close when possible, because distance kills the project. Then it moves the only way it can move: human strength. Some blocks carried, some dragged, some rolled on logs, ropes cut into hands, mud sucks at your feet, heat doesn't stop. This isn't one clever trick, it's volume, it's repetition, it's bodies. And the craziest part? The blocks don't arrive perfect. They arrive rough, heavy, and wrong. Then they get refined on site, while the next load is already coming. That's why these projects don't happen unless the city can force a workforce to keep showing up. Let's say it clearly. For most workers, this wasn't a job. It was an obligation. The system was corvée labor, mandatory work as tax, as duty to the rulers. Farmers, peasants, porters, quarry workers pulled off their lives and pushed into the build. And it's easy to romanticize it until you picture the schedule. You farm until harvest. Then the harvest ends, and your time off becomes hauling stone, burning lime, carrying water, mixing mortar. It's not one day, it's seasons. Sometimes generations, with temples getting expanded over older temples. Specialists exist: masons, craftsmen, planners. But the muscle is common people. And when the kilns need fuel and the site needs stone, the machine doesn't care if your body is done. Because if the workforce stops, the build dies. Now we get to the part everyone sees: the temple rising and what it really is. Here's what most people misunderstand. A Maya temple isn't one clean stack of perfect blocks. It's a layered structure designed to survive. A heavy core, rubble compartments packed tight, mortar binding everything. Then the outer skin, cut stone and stucco, made bright, made smooth, made intimidating. And over time, many were expanded by building new layers over old ones, not because it's easier, because every new ruler wants a bigger monument, and the easiest way to do that is to bury the past inside a new mountain. So yes, it's engineering, but it's also a message, because the moment the temple exists, it changes the entire city. So why build a temple like this? Because it wasn't just a building, it was a control device. Down below, the plaza where people gather. Up above, the summit where only the elite belong. And at the top, the city watches rituals that are meant to do one thing: make the gods feel close and make the people feel small. Offerings, incense, bloodletting, and sometimes human sacrifice. Picture it from the crowd. You're standing in heat and smoke. You can't see every detail, but you don't need to. You can hear it. You can feel the silence hit right before it happens. Because the point isn't only religion, the point is demonstration. The same system that forces you to haul stone can also decide who bleeds for the gods. And when a whole city watches power above them, the temple stops being architecture. It becomes fear, turned into stone. Picture the routine. Before sunrise, you eat what you can. Then you carry. You drag, you cut, you burn. If you're moving stone, you're under load all day. If you're feeding kilns, you're living next to heat. If you're mixing lime, you're working with something that can burn skin when handled wrong. And you do it again. Not because it's art, because the city demands it. That's how you get temples in places where the tools don't exist for it. You don't invent a miracle. You build a system that can't be refused. So yeah, 1,300 years ago, Maya workers raised stone temples in jungle terrain with no wheels and no metal tools. And once you understand the labor, the lime, and the control, the temples stop looking mysterious. Hit like and subscribe. Drop a comment. What hits harder, the stone transport, the lime process, or what happened at the top?